This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
We interrupt local programming to bring you breaking news. It is 12:30 here. We want to get to a large police presence near an apartment complex right by Park Plaza and Brown Deer Road. You're taking a look at live pictures here. Initial reports indicate an active shooter. That has been the calls from dispatch. That is what we're hearing. Again, we have not confirmed those details with police. Fatalities have not been confirmed just yet. We did call the medical examiner and they informed us that they are aware of this situation, but from about 12:04 this morning, they have not been responding to the scene just yet. So again, the medical examiner is aware of this incident, this situation, but have not responded just yet. We've witnessed paramedics going into the complex just now. And we want to bring in Matt Salemi, who's joining us live from News Chopper 12. Matt, it's important that we mention this because we don't want to give away any tactical positions, compromise officer positions, jeopardize the investigation, but we do want to kind of get your perspective, your point of view of what you were able to see from above.
All right, so Brown Deer police are busy at the scene. They haven't been able to confirm very much for us, but I can tell you what I've witnessed over the last half hour. So we arrived here right around noon, and as we did, a group of tactical officers came out of the door right there in the center of the frame, 8901 Park Plaza. It's the Park Plaza Apartments. And they came out of that door. There was about a half dozen of them, and they had a person that they were carrying in like a sling, not even a full stretcher. They just had like person with like a blanket draped under them that they carried out that door. They rushed them down to the sidewalk where that person was then loaded into a ambulance. The ambulance has since left the scene. The person did not appear conscious. A few minutes after that, a couple dozen SWAT team members left these two vehicles here, went into the building. And then about 5 minutes later, another group of tactical officers guided in a group of paramedics. The paramedics were all wearing helmets and vests when they went into the building. A short while later, another group of officers went in, and they were no longer wearing the tactical gear. They'd walked in. They were just wearing their uniform. They did not have guns drawn at that point. And then I noticed that there was some activity along the side of the building here. And again, I saw some officers walking around the side of the building. They were not in defensive positions. And I'm going to zoom in here. It looks like there might be like a bloody coat or a bloody blanket laying behind that pickup truck right there. That caught my eye as the officers were standing around it. And since then, it's been relatively quiet now for the last couple of minutes, other than those officers that have gone into the building and the ones that were walking around the parking lot, again, not in defensive positions. I'm starting to get the feeling like this incident may have been resolved, but again, that has not been confirmed. Just gathering from what I've seen the officers walking around and not being in full gear and not taking defensive positions or having their guns drawn as they went in, out of the building.
Now, Matt, I know you mentioned at least one person was carried or taken out of the apartment complex. Did you see anyone else, perhaps residents, being evacuated, or was that kind of taken care of before you got there?
So I don't know if the building was entirely evacuated before this incident started, because after the paramedics went in and after things seemed to calm down a little bit, the garage door you see there in the lower left of the screen, it opened, and two people have just driven away. The cops didn't search their vehicle or anything, and I would assume if there was still a suspect at large that they would have wanted to search those vehicles before they drove off. So you see another officer walking out the door right now, and it does not have a gun drawn. His gun is pointed down at the ground, and you can see it looks like he's calmly walking out the door, not like he's worried about any type of situation, just calmly walking back to the vehicle here. So it looks like they may have wrapped the situation up, and now they're inside dealing with anybody who may have been injured. Again, numbers we have not confirmed, but the paramedics are in the building. There is a SWAT team in the building, and we have seen residents driving away from that garage over the last couple of minutes.
Okay, Matt, we're going to get back to you here in just a few minutes, but we just want to kind of go over what's been going on. This reports of an active shooter have been going on since 10:15 this morning from 12:04 p.m. That is the latest, the last time that we contacted the medical examiner's office. And I'm just getting in my ear right now that the medical examiner has been called to the scene. Before we were just knowing that they were aware of the situation, but now they are actually responding. And now we want to get to dispatch sound here from officers on this scene. Let's take a listen to some of that audio.
We need additional squads. We got a shooter in the second floor balcony. He's holding a gun in his right hand
He's on the second floor balcony. He's going to be on the south side of the building.
PD does not have the shooter, so I'm going to upgrade this for an active shooter event to the RTF.
Let's go ahead and bring in Matt Salemi one more time. He's joining us live from News Chopper 12. Matt, we are talking about an area here. If you can maybe give us a perspective from above, it's busy. You know, Brown Deer Road is a busy area.
Yeah, I'm going to widen out one so you can see just where this is in relation to Brown Deer Road. Brown Deer Road is now right at the top of the frame there, and Park Plaza is actually a cul-de-sac. You can see the circle at the end there. The Park Plaza apartments are the three buildings, the three units right here. They look like they each have more than a dozen apartments in each one of those three buildings. This door that we've seen the activity going in and out of, that door is facing east. So as we come now to the south side, if you heard the officers there in that dispatch audio talking about a possible shooter on the second-story balcony. Now, this bloody coat or blanket here is laying in the south side parking lot that would be facing those south side balconies. We're going to take a loop around the south side of the building here and kind of see if we can see any activity on any of those second-story balconies off of that south side of the building. So bear with me here as we make that orbit. But again, we saw about a dozen tactical officers go into the building. After a half dozen or so brought a person out that door on the east side there. It's marked 8901. And they then brought that person down in like a sling or a blanket. They were just carrying him in, and they brought the person to the ambulance. Another group of tactical officers went in, and then about 5 minutes later, tactical officers escorted a group of paramedics into the building. And at this point, I'm not seeing any activity on any of these balconies here. This is the area that they were describing, though. A second-story balcony off of the south side of the building. And as you can see right now, no activity on any of those balconies.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for giving us that bird's eye view. It looks like things are kind of winding down there. This report of an active shooter started off at about 10:15 this morning. The latest that we know is that the medical examiner has been called. So that means that there is at least one fatality in this incident. We do have several calls into the Brown Deer Police Department, the fire department as well. And as we can imagine, they're extremely busy and occupied with this investigation still ongoing. We're going to go ahead and bring you a press conference or a briefing as soon as that comes. Make sure to check WISN.com, our app, or any social media avenue, and we will bring it to you live.